Hi everybody, Nancy Beauvais here with Agape and NEXsteps. Last week I put out a video trying to stimulate dialogue, and it was about our fear of dying. The vast majority of us do have this innate fear of dying, even among people who embrace the idea of a hereafter. There seems to be some kind of a connection with people needing to stay connected to life. So I thought that it might be an opportunity to make a nice segue and discuss near-death experiences, or NDEs. My mother, when she was a teenager, was drowned and had a near-death experience. But that was in the day that you just didn't talk about those kinds of things. So she had to wait for about 20, 25 years before she felt safe or comfortable to be able to share that experience. And by and large, her experience was similar to the experiences that other people, that you may have read about, that other people have experienced. I do believe from what I've read about them that there are some personal aspects of each near-death experience, although there does seem to be some commonalities, such as the tunnel going to the light. But I did want to explore this. So, as I mentioned, this was a phenomenon that was not spoken about, not talked about largely. And in 1975, I think it was, Dr. Raymond Moody kind of took the world by storm with his book, Life After Life. And he's the one that kind of coined the phrase near-death experience. So what a near-death experience is triggered by is typically somebody has had a trauma, either a heart attack, asphyxiation, some complication due to a surgery. There are a number of things that have caused a near-death experience. Even with Dr. Moody's book coming out there, and there have since been other books and other websites now about near-death experiences. But back when it was first emerging, there was a huge school of skeptics out there. They talked about how it was a neurological response. Your brain was kind of in its last throes, and oxygen deprivation. There were a lot of different theories out there about what might be triggering these events. But what's really interesting is that these events happen globally. They happen in every culture, they happen in every country, they happen with people of all ages, they happen with people whether they're believers or non-believers. So there has to be something to it. Whether you're a believer, whether you're a non-believer, there does have to be something to it. If you're a non-believer, maybe there is something to the idea that it's some kind of a physiological response to oxygen deprivation in the final throes. I personally happen to think that it's the other. I do think that there are experiences that people have when they do pass over to whatever the next realm is, whatever your belief is, whether you think it's this heaven or whatever. I do think that there is something at least to be explored. Most interesting about near-death experiences is that the people who have experienced them no longer fear death. So there must be something to it. If these people have this commonality that they feel at peace, that they feel love, that they feel warmth, that they feel welcomed, instead of, I'm going to be suffering, I'm going to be in pain, I don't know what the future will hold for me, will I burn in hell? It's interesting to me that we don't hear much about negative experiences with near-death experiences. I'm sure, like everything else in the world, there are some that exist, but we don't hear about them. So if something like a near-death experience can help to prove that there's nothing to fear about the completion of the cycle of life, and that there's nothing to fear about death and dying. It's the build-up to the death that is the painful part. Physically, physiologically, emotionally, all of those components play into the pain prior to death. But from all accounts that I've read about near-death experiences, the actual act of dying is calm, it's peaceful. And honestly, if you have ever been around somebody when they have passed over, share with me in the comments. But I think that you'll agree that there is an absolute peace with that person when they pass over. They're calm, they're gentle, they're quiet. Maybe it's not something to be feared after all. So please share your thoughts. If you've had a near-death experience and you want to share it, post that in the comments as well. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks very much. Bye for now.